Welcome back to the 9th episode of the writing process. In the last episode, we discussed one of the major genres, romance. Today, we are going to discuss the literary fiction. When compared to genre fiction, literary fiction tends to follow non-conventional plot structures while containing embedded symbolism and allegory. Literary fiction is a term that has come into common usage in the early 1960s. The term is principally used to distinguish serious fiction, which is a work that claims to hold literary merit, in comparison from genre fiction and popular fiction. The name literature is sometimes used for this genre, although it can also refer to a broader category of writing. Let's start with the characteristics of literary fiction. First, we have character-driven narratives. Character-driven stories are focused more on character development than they are on plot. Character-driven stories are often found in literary fiction. A good short story is often focused on one or two fleshed-out characters as opposed to a detailed plot. Then comes ample symbolism, metaphor, and allegory. A symbol is a signifier that communicates something beyond itself, such as the wedding ring, the cross, the national flag, the colors of a traffic light, the red rose, the black of mourning. Keep in mind that many traditional symbols are ambiguous, they cannot be explained as having a single, constant meaning. For instance, dragons aren't necessarily evil in every culture. A metaphor is a comparison between two unrelated things that share a common characteristic. In simple English, when you portray a person, place, thing, or an action as being something else, even though it is not actually that something else, you are speaking metaphorically. This literary device is so common that we use it in everyday speech without even realizing it. If you've ever called someone a couch potato, you've used a metaphor by comparing a sedentary person to a root vegetable. Allegory is closely linked to symbolism and metaphor because it uses both devices to convey a grand moral, political, religious, or ethical idea. You can think of symbolism and metaphor as bricks in an allegory wall. Keep in mind that allegory encompasses the entire narrative. Symbols and metaphors are used along the way. The allegory needs all the pieces combined to convey a higher concept. Then comes advanced vocabulary infused with imagery. Literary writers need a masterful way with words. Their voice can be simple or ornate, but the prose must always be rich and finely crafted and a pleasure to read. While most great fiction tends to focus on storytelling over wordsmithing, literary fiction tends to be the opposite, less focus on the story, and more focus on the precise words used to express the story. Ambiguous plot points, including even the work's conclusion. When the conclusion of your book doesn't insist on a single, clear interpretation, you're creating the conditions for the reader to insert their own ideal ending. The term, literary fiction, is controversial and for good reason. As more literary writers venture into genre fiction, the lines of distinction have blurred. Sometimes, it's not always clear. Perhaps, it is genre fiction that's just pushing its own boundaries. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and subscribe to watch the next episode of the writing process. Happy writing!